Okay, so today let's continue talking about our lectures on the designing parts นะครับ On last class นะครับ we talk about the um, output design นะครับ Okay, let me just like continue sharing the screen to you. Okay. So when we talk about the output design นะครับ on last class I told you that we had to ask yourself with couple of questions before you start having the output design นะครับ because it will affect for the designs and the system that you are going to have นะครับ because whenever you have to design the output the first thing that you have to know is that you think first okay what is the purpose of that output นะครับ um, some of you said that okay it has to be used but what for นะครับ because sometimes some output that you design or some output that has been requested by your users are the nice thing to have but they might not need it to have it นะครับ because sometimes some output that you try to design might be duplicated with another output for example if you say that okay you want to have the first one that is printed list of customers นะครับ name of the customers and their contact number นะครับ another output your customer request that they want to have the customer report นะครับ to show the customer's name customer contact number and their birth date let's say they say that okay the first report okay that is universally used because okay different department including sales department including accounting department need to know the information of the customers while the second report that consists of customer name customer address and contact number will be used by customer relationship management department or CRM department why do you need to print like or why do you need to prepare those two reports that are almost the same just one field that is different that is birth date only นะครับ so is it better if we just like collapse these report to have just one report only that is customers report together with the birth date or I mean like you may not have to print it out the report in here can be just like generated as a PDF file นะครับ something like this or you may have a screen นะครับ that users can choose first นะครับ what fields that they want to be displayed in their PDF file and if they are not authorized for example if we say that accounting department doesn't need to know the birth date of the customer so you may say that okay instead of having or generating different reports we use the same report but before we print นะครับ or before we generate as a PDF file your system will check for the authorization level of the users first if that users are the users from accounting department this group of users will not see what to say the birth date of the users sorry will not see the birth date of the customers in the PDF file something like that so you don't need to prepare different reports and also if you are the IT people in your users company นะครับ one thing that if your users ask you for the suggestion you have to let them know นะครับ because every report costs the money as well for example in some software นะครับ if you would like to have an extra report นะครับ that is not the regular one or the common one in that systems you may have to pay let's say 3,000 to 5,000 baht per one report design นะครับ or they may ask you in order to use some software that like for example the crystal report that is the report designer to let you design the fields in the database to be shown in the report for your users นะครับ you may have to do it by yourself as well but I mean like the more you have นะครับ the more report you have the more confusion you may get That's why you have to check. You have to ask yourself and ask your users first that what is the purpose of that report. Next, who wants it? Why is it needed? How will it be used? If they say that, okay, maybe the users may want to use it in the future, ask them first. They may not want to use it. Or if they said in the future, when? If they say that, oh, in the next 3 years, because right now we don't have the information much. If we print the report, you may have, if you print this report out or generate the PDF file for this report, you may have 1 or 2 records only. But this one will be, let's say, if we are talking about a report to show the revenue of the company, the yearly revenue of the company, and the company is just set up, that means if you print the report now, it's not showing anything yet. And next year, it shows just 1 line of data only. So you can see that this kind of report may not be wanted, because when you can use it, and you see lots of data, it might be like the next 5 years. And in the next 5 years, the revenue, the total revenue report for yearly total revenue report will be shown as 5 lines only. And if you can see that this one is not working, you may just like not want this report. Okay, so don't waste the time to prepare it. The next one, what specific information will be included? You have to also check that, okay, which piece of information is crucial, which one is specific information that you really need to have. For example, some reports you also need the time that you print out or generate this report to. For example, if it's the daily report, you may want to know that when was the time that this report printed. The reason is because if there is a time indifferent, for example, if you print it out at 8 a.m. in the morning, or you print this report 1 p.m. in the afternoon, you may have different results. Then the time is important. You have to print it in the report, or you may need to have the timestamp in the report too, something like that. Next, will the output be printed, view on screen, or both? What type of device will the output go to? This one is also important. As I told you last time that, okay, some of the report must be printed. Some of the output must be printed. For example, if you have to give it to the customer, you have to print it out, because the customer will not receive it in terms of just like electronic form. I mean, if it is the retailing business, like for example, if you go to convenience store, you can see that the receipt is the official document from the government. It will be used as a proof of purchase. That's why the cashier has to print it out for you, and they have to give it to you. So you can see that every time when you go to 7-Eleven, they give the receipt to you all the times. Or I mean, like when you pay the money, and then when they for example, when you pay by using the wallet, the e-wallet. So once you pay already, okay, you know that you paid, and then you may leave the shop at that time. Normally they may say that, okay, please wait for the receipt first, something like that, and somebody just walk away. Actually, you can see that every time they have to tell you to get the receipt first, because it's compulsory. If they fail to give you the receipt or to tell you to wait for the receipt, that is illegal. You can sue them, because actually the seller must give the receipt to the buyer. This is for the law that we have. So that's why this kind of receipt must be printed. But on the other way around, if you go to pay your phone bills through the application, you can see that normally the receipt is not in printing forms. They just like give you the receipt in a couple of ways. The first one, they just send you an SMS to tell you that you finished the payment already. Or they may send you through in email นะครับ as electronic receipts นะครับ in the past นะครับ last year until last year นะครับ all of the payment from the mobile phone service company they say that okay you will receive the what to say the paper receipts they send it to you later on นะครับ but from now on นะครับ you can receive the receipt through the email นะครับ so because the law is changed that's why they allow the seller to just like give the electronic receipt to the buyer นะครับ instead of having the paper based one so you also have to update the law นะครับ in that country that you work for the information system as well นะครับ this is the Thailand law but if you have to work for the company in America you also have to check the law of each state as well whether they have to print this kind of document out or not นะครับ another example that you may see is that when we have when we go to purchase some what to say some products from the supermarket นะครับ for example if you go to the mall food market something like that once you pay for stuff once you pay for the product by using credit cards นะครับ if it's less than 1,000 baht they just once you give them the card นะครับ they swipe the card and you don't need to sign anything นะครับ because this one is just like it's not about the law but it's about the bank's regulation นะครับ or the credit card issuer's regulation they say that okay if the purchase amount is not over 1,000 baht per one transaction นะครับ the customer doesn't need to print นะครับ sorry the customer doesn't need to sign in the paper in the past we saw that if we pay นะครับ for the supermarket purchasing you the cashier will have had to print the docket first นะครับ and then you had to sign on that piece of paper return it to them and they will print the receipt to you นะครับ so this one right now you don't need to sign นะครับ but if you purchase over 1,000 นะครับ instead of printing a docket and sign on that docket and return to the cashier many of the supermarkets have the on-screen signature pad นะครับ you the things that you do is that you sign on the screen just that and then you just like press a button to confirm of your signature then they print out the receipt for you นะครับ just that so in this one you can see that our printing is view on the screen only right now you don't need to print so if you are not sure just check with the regulation I mean like if you have to develop the information systems like sales information system for the supermarket just check first for the payment channels if they also accept credit cards you just contact the credit card companies that okay does the credit card company offer the printing pad for this supermarket or not or the supermarket still need to have the paper-based signature if they say that okay they allow you to use the printing pad okay so you may have to ask for the API okay what API do I have to use because you have to just like prepare that signature to be sent digitally into the information system as well นะครับ what type of device will the output go to will it go as the on screen นะครับ will it go on both screens and speakers or will the output be on the printers นะครับ because some of the output will also be just like display or just like play through the speakers as well for example if we are talking about queuing system in the bank you can see that when you go to the bank or to some companies like True Shop let's say once you press the button to get the queue card already when the queue is called they will show on both screen and on the play sound on speaker as well that one the output channel that we use for our information systems นะครับ and you may say that hey But how can, why do we need to have the queuing system as the information system for the company? The reason is because the company need to use this information for their improvement of service. That's why you don't just write the programs for queuing, but the information for the people or customer who are in the queue for each day, um, they will be linked with their other information system as well. For example, if today, okay, there are 500 queues, printed on the dockets, on the queue card. So the company would like to know that for those 500 requests, or 500 queues, what do the customer wants? They link with their information system. Normally in through company they use SAP. Okay, it will be classified that okay, customer would like to open the new phone number. Okay, 200 queues. 100 of them would like to cancel their services with True. Okay, another 100 would like to request for others. So in total, it is 500 queues altogether. And if tomorrow there are like 300 people cancel the service from True company, so you can see that this is the statistics. True, you have to analyze what's going on with their service, why the customer cancel the service more and more and more, something like this. So this kind of information will be sent and will be used by the quality control system, or quality control department of the company. Okay, after we have this thing already, okay, you have to ask yourself and ask the users that when will the information be provided and how often must it be updated? Is it daily? Is it weekly? Or is it monthly? So you have to just like check for the frequency of updating that data. And does it have any security concerns or not? For example, some of the outputs, before the users can see, they may have to enter the password first. Let's imagine for the report that you generate from the information system, like a receipt, or the bank statement of a customer. Once you send the email to the customer already, that is not enough. You shouldn't send the plain PDF file to the customer. The things that you may have to do is that, firstly, you just encrypt it and put the password into that document first. And after that, you just like let the customer knows their password. For example, you may send it through the same email or different email and tell the customers that, okay, we are sending the statement to you. You can open it by the password that come from the birth date of yours. Okay, and the format of the password is this. You just let them know. Okay, this one is the security that you can provide to the customers when they just like want to see their statements that you send it to them, the report that you send it to them, because your answers and the user's answer will affect the output design strategies. And if you ask me that, do we have to ask your users always? You don't need to ask them always, that whether you want this, when will it be updated, and so on. Okay, you just prepare the prototype for them first, just ask yourself for these questions, and then you just like use it to prepare the prototype to the users. After the users see the prototype, they will say that, okay, I want this. Can you add some more security features? Can you update this more frequent? Something like that. You need to have the prototype for them first. Okay, after that, when we talk about a report is a kind of the output as well. When we have to design the report, you can see that right now, few firms have been able to eliminate printed output totally. Because I mean, like right now, almost every company or organization around the world, they try to eliminate or reduce the usage of paper-based documents, including MUIC as well. Most of the documents we try to just like use it as in electronic forms, including the payroll. Payroll, what is payroll? Payroll is about just like the what to say payment for the salary นะครับ of each organization นะครับ for the payroll system in the past นะครับ I remember that on the first year นะครับ on the first year I joined MUIC that is long time ago they printed นะครับ they printed my salary นะครับ in a piece of paper like this they fold it and put the staple on do you think that it's secure class if the payroll or the payment details was printed in the piece of paper like this and then fold it and staple it do you think that it's secure normally they put it in the mailbox นะครับ of each อาจารย์ you might see that okay when you go to our office you see that okay once you open the door the mailbox is on the right hand side anyone can just like pick up that piece of paper easily and in the past everybody knows that when we get this piece of paper and then staple it is a salary information inside if I want to know other colleagues salary I just steal that piece of paper or I may just unstable it and have a look นะครับ or I may just have a sneak to see what's inside and then I see the number I can guess how much do they receive นะครับ so this one it was not secure at all when the time goes by MUIC just like change the format of giving the payroll information they had printing form as well but it's in the envelope นะครับ in the envelope that on one side นะครับ it's just like printed some patterns on นะครับ and then they use carbon copy to print out so it means that you can't see even you just try to have a look you don't see it and then they put it in the end put it in the mailbox this one is also not safe นะครับ even I mean it's safe if somebody try to have a look they don't see the information inside but it's not safe in the way that if it's stolen นะครับ other people can see what how much do you get paid the things that they had to do is that okay I mean like if you lost that piece of paper and then you would like to have a copy you may request to have another copy but that's not the problem is about the security because other people if it's stolen as it is put on the mailbox of each person you don't know who just like steal it นะครับ and why do they have to use that information so right now it becomes electronic forms already everyone will have to you don't get the email I mean the things that you have to do I mean for the payroll of MUIC is that you have to go to the intranet of MU and then you log in as by using your account and then you see the list of your payroll information ครับ for each month after that you just click and then you receive it as a PDF file and they count number of download as well because they allow you to download 2 times if you download it 2 times already and you still lost it you may be able to get the copy but you have to go to the HR department to let them print for you or send the email for you นะครับ this is just like the security that they put and they try to eliminate printed output the next one turnaround document นะครับ for the turnaround documents it means that the documents that may have to use in different in many departments นะครับ would they have the same information or what about like the confidential information might have to be hidden นะครับ and used and designed separately นะครับ and also นะครับ for the period that the document has to be existed for example if it is the document that is the document that the government or the legal just say that okay you must have this document how long นะครับ will that document you have to keep. For example, some documents they say that in 1 year you can destroy it. Some documents say that, for example, the tax related documents, you have to keep that document for around 10 years before you can destroy it. So that means the quality of paper does matter as well. The printing quality does matter as well, because for example, if you remember when I showed you for some receipt last class, this one, you can see that this one was printed just 2 months only and it's faded out already. So this one cannot be used as a tax related document. If you would like to keep the evidence for the taxation, it must be like this, because you use, in this one, they use the dot matrix printer to print. They really use a real ink to print on this piece of paper. So that's why it lasts for like 10 years or more. While this one is the heated paper, it will be faded within 2 months. Then if you have to use this one as a legal related document, you may have to make a photocopy when you receive this one, and then you stable this docket or this receipt with the photocopy version. Or some companies say that, okay, if you want a document like a receipt like this for the taxation purposes, you have to ask them to print the proper format of the receipt. Once they print and prepare, you get the receipt like this. Same as I told you on last class, when 7-Eleven issues the receipt for their customers. Normally they give you the receipt like the heated printed printing paper like this. But if you say that you want to claim your company for the payment, the things that we have to do is that we ask 7-Eleven cashier, and then they will print the proper form of the receipt like this for you. But it takes some time. Sometimes they may say that, okay, can you wait for around like half an hour or 1 hour to get that receipt. So that is about the turnaround documents. It talks about the time or period of time that the document must be last. The next one, report must be easy to read and well organized. You can see that for the reports. Okay, let me just show you some examples. Some of the reports, when you have to organize them, you have to just like set them up properly. You have to set them up properly. That means when other people read on your report, they have to understand what it means. For example, like this. This is the example of the report. You can see that they are printed properly. There are comparison among like different companies like this, so that when other people can see this one, they can just like compare which one do they want. Apart from that one, database programs include a variety of report design tools. You have to know that when you have to design the information systems, one tools that all of the programmers have to use is the database, because normally information, when we call it as information system, there must be information stored in the system. So when we store the information in the system, normally we don't store it as text file, but we have to use database to keep or collect these data. The reason is because for the text file, if you would like to edit, it's more difficult than using the database. That's why we have to use the database to just like collect the data and manipulate the data that you have. In most of the database programs, they have report design tools. For example, for Oracle, they have their own report designs. For Access, they have their own report design tools as well. But as I told you on last class, the regular kind of the report designer that we normally use, we call it as Crystal Report. This is the report designer program that normally most of us use it in order to design the report for information systems. And it's just like, it's widely used around the world for the Crystal Report software. Because one reason is that if you have used the Crystal Report program to design the report นะครับ in the future if you have the new information systems that you just what to say, for example, if you have the information system for sales version 2.0 or version 3.0, you can use the Crystal Report in order to edit the report that you had in the past นะครับ as a template นะครับ and then you just copy this template to the new version of software or to the new software straight away without just like redesign everything นะครับ because the Crystal Report you can just like open up the template from like the old version of the report that you have นะครับ and character based report นะครับ what is character based report? This one is character based report. If you see on my screen นะครับ it's all text นะครับ These are character based report or text based report is like this. So that means you have to know how do you gonna set the text นะครับ to be displayed in the report properly นะครับ for example the currency, if you have seen the currency on my screen นะครับ the currency on my screen is right indent so that when the readers or the people read on this report they can read it easily, and also the alignment of the text should be set up properly as well, like this one นะครับ so this is the character based report. You have to design the template first นะครับ so that the text to be printed นะครับ can be just like printed properly. For example, suppose you say that okay the document like this one, okay class just have a look นะครับ on my screen. If you see this one, okay just one below, if you see the screen of mine like this นะครับ you can see that this document นะครับ is a receipt. If I just like wipe out all the printed stuff that printed by printers, this document is called pre-printed form นะครับ pre-printed form. It will be just like a blank form นะครับ that they put like the address, that they put the headers already, but the information inside is blank นะครับ you just put this one in the printer and it fill up all the information that we have นะครับ some of the documents need to have the pre-printed form first and then you just like put the data onto that pre-printed form นะครับ the character based reports normally they are printed, I mean like if you have to print to other people you may just need to have like the pre-printed form first นะครับ but the disadvantage of pre-printed form is that you have to use just the you have to use the what to say dot matrix printer only, because in this kind of thing นะครับ the dot matrix printer ครับ they have to use like the continuous paper นะครับ that you can control the position of the values to be printed on this form easily นะครับ but if we and also the dot matrix printer can print the copies นะครับ of form of documents as well. So that means if I have like 3 layers นะครับ of these papers as the what to say carbon copies, I can use the dot matrix printer to print. But the problem is that if I use inkjet or if I use laser printer, I can't print multiple copies นะครับ of this document, because sometimes นะครับ the reason why you need to have just like one the copy with like 3 layers is because if somebody sign on this document, it just like the signature will go to like 2nd and 3rd layers of the document as well. While you print with laser printer, let's say, and you print 3 copies of the same document นะครับ once you have to let somebody to sign on that paper นะครับ you need the real carbon copy papers นะครับ to stack นะครับ inside that pile of documents before they sign, or they have to sign 3 pages นะครับ 3 times. I mean, so that's why you have to think first, what kind of reports do you need to have นะครับ can the laser printer or dot matrix printer must be used นะครับ or the laser printer or the heated paper printer นะครับ must be used in that report. After that นะครับ we talk about the types of reports that we need to have นะครับ we have detailed report นะครับ exception reports and summary reports นะครับ these are 3 different types that you have to know. For the detail report it shows every single transactions นะครับ that we have. For example, if we have to talk about the what to say the account transactions นะครับ it prints every transaction that you withdraw the money, that you deposit the money, that somebody deposit the money for you, that shows the incoming interest for you, something like that. That are what we call detail reports. While exception reports are the report that will be printed when there are some events occur only. For example, if you say that okay, normally we say that our customer นะครับ has to pay the money to us นะครับ within 30 days after purchasing. Normally you have to know that when in the business, when the customer who deals the business with you for a long time, you will have to set up the credit terms for them. Okay, let me just show you this one. Credit terms means that the period of time that customer can delay their payment. For example, if you say that okay, the credit term is 60 days, it means that after you deliver the products or services to the customer already, they have the time up to 60 days to pay you the money. Some of the company pay you the check นะครับ on that maybe on that day, but you can't just like cash that check. You have to wait for another 60 days because you say that okay, you give them credit term for 60 days, something like that. Okay, so what do I want to tell you? Exception reports might be like the report in this example. I say that okay, I want a report to shows นะครับ the outstanding customers นะครับ who haven't paid after their credit terms. That means your report, your exception reports will check the credit terms of the customers. If the customer haven't paid นะครับ haven't paid within 60 days, their names will be printed out in the exception reports. That means the exception report doesn't print everyone's or every transaction, but it prints out just only some records on a specific condition that you set up only. In this case, we would like to print out a report for customer who pay after their credit terms, or after credit terms they haven't paid yet, will be printed out in these exception reports นะครับ The next one, summary report. Summary reports are the report that you summarize the data นะครับ of some information. That means it doesn't print the details information นะครับ If you say that okay, we are talking about convenience store like 7-Eleven นะครับ every day there are like thousands of customers who purchase in that branch นะครับ of 7-Eleven. If they print out นะครับ detail reports, it will list out that how much does the cashier receive in that day นะครับ It might be like thousands of records that will be printed in the detail reports. But summary report will be printed that okay, today how much in total that the customer purchased from us. Normally the summary reports we may print it out like daily summary, weekly summary, monthly summary, or yearly summary. It depends on the period of time that you want that report นะครับ If it's daily, they may show that okay, for the daily total report, the daily summary report, today we receive 2 million baht นะครับ from the purchasing of customer in this branch. It has been divided into the first one. We say that okay, the summary might be like from the drinks like milk or the cold drinks, okay, we receive 1 million baht. For the food, okay, like for example, instant food, we receive 500,000 baht. Or for alcoholic drinks, we receive 100,000 baht today, something like that. These are summary reports. It doesn't print everything, but it summarizes the data first before it shows in the summary report. The next one, after you know the type of the report already, we talk about the user involvement in the report design. Not just the programmers and system analysts need to know about the report design because you don't use it. The one who uses that report is your user. That's why we need the user involvement as well. Because printed reports are like important way to deliver the information to your users. So they should approve all the design in advance. What should we do? If we are system analysts, the things that you may have to do is that you may use the PowerPoint or Microsoft Word to design a report first and put some example of data in that report. And how do we know what information that we should put? Once you did the interviewing or data gathering from the users, you should ask for the example of the previous report that they have, so that when you have the report designed for the new system, you just use those information to fill up. But if they gave you the example of the reports from the current system and they wipe out all the numbers, then you may have to put some reasonable examples into the report design for them. After you use Microsoft Word or PowerPoint to prepare the report for them already, what do you have to do next? The next step is that you give it to the customer. Sorry, you give it to the users and ask them to confirm the report. Then they have to see it clearly. Normally, we print the report in just the basic A4 paper only. But if you say that that document must be printed in A5, like in this one, the things that you may have to do is that in your A4 paper, you draw it as A5 size. Draw a rectangle as A5, and then write down the details of the report in that A5 paper and shows to the users so that they can confirm whether this kind of report is the thing that they like or not. Then you submit each design for approval as you complete it, rather than waiting until you finish all report design. This is psychological ideas. If you send 1 or 2 pages of reports to your users, it's easy for them because they may spend a couple of minutes to confirm and approve for you. But if you send a stack of A4, let's say a ream of A4 paper, and all of them are the example of the report design, so psychologically when they see the whole ream of paper, they think that is too much. They may have to spend a lot of time to just like complete that confirmation of that report. So that's why just like submit each design for asking for the approval from them, because it will be faster for them to confirm with you. You may have the mock-up. The mock-up is what I told you. You have a report, but it's not the blank one. You just like give some example of the data into that report too. Or some people, if you know how to just like write some codes that the programmers will use, or you may ask the programmers to help you for just like putting some layout of the report designs and print it out to your users, or you may use the crystal report to design first and fill up some data for your users as a mock-up. They will just like understand your report, rather than you just like send a blank report with just the headings, because they may not be able to imagine what will be inside their reports. And then you may have, once you have the report designed to give it to the customer or to the users already, you should have a document that is called report analysis form นะครับ what is in there that is a free form นะครับ you just like create a form to let the customer or to let the users to review the report or to review the report that you send to them. For example, they may review that, okay, the width sample, the width of the currency box is too narrow นะครับ or they may say that, okay, we want more number of lines of this detail, something like that. Okay, so this is in the report analysis form. You should let have like some comments นะครับ for example, you may say that number one, okay, the width of each column นะครับ is it too wide or too narrow, or it's okay already. Second one, what is the font, the font style that we use, is it okay now? What is the font size, is it too big or too small? How can we adjust it? Something like that. This should be in the report analysis form so that your users can just like give the comments and send it back to you for their review นะครับ This is the example of the output design that you may see นะครับ The first one นะครับ you can see that. Okay, let me delete this one first. Okay, this one you can see that, okay, once we have the report, you have to show the first one, you have to show the heading นะครับ of this report นะครับ or the report name นะครับ you have to show the report name in here. You can see that, okay, you show the report name here นะครับ employees hours นะครับ and the next one, this report show the time as well, 6/2/11. In here it means that it shows you that, okay, for the date that we print out this report นะครับ okay, or the day that you call this report out นะครับ after that นะครับ you identify all the fields that we have นะครับ that is page headers, and also you just like show them for the list of the information, like the example of data that you have นะครับ in this part you can see that the first one นะครับ the left hand side here, we call it as control break นะครับ control break on store number field. That means you may use number 8 to tell that, okay, this is store number. If the number is jumped to the next number, for example, in this one, it shows number 17 already. So that means your report will not come back to store number 8 anymore because we finished all number 8 already. When it starts with the next number, it means that we go to the next number forever. We don't go back to number 8 นะครับ in this report. After that, you may have the footer of each group, that is the summary นะครับ in this example we have the total regular hours นะครับ total overtime hours and total hours of store number 8 นะครับ this is what we call group footer. The next one นะครับ in store number 17 we have the group footer as well นะครับ that is a summary of store 17 totals นะครับ and after that you have report footer. That means it's the grand total นะครับ that we have. This is what we call report footer, and in each report นะครับ you must have the page as well นะครับ page number as well, so that once I mean like when you print it out, for example, this one doesn't matter whether you use inkjet printer, laser printer, or dot matrix printer นะครับ there's no staple yet. It's possible that customer may mix up or shuffle all of these reports. Let's say if you have 50 pages, page number 50 might be on the top, while page number 41 is the second one. Page 1 might be on the last page, something like that. If you have the page footer, it is easy for your users in order to resort this printing output easily นะครับ but if this one is in the PDF file, it's easy นะครับ but anyway, even it's PDF file, you still need to have the page footer anyway, so that the customer will know that, oh, this one is what I have to just like see it, and later on if they would like to print it out, it will be easy for them นะครับ apart from that one นะครับ we talk about the next thing. Okay, the next thing is the technology that we use for the output นะครับ in order to just like show the output to the users นะครับ we may use the internet-based information delivery. For example, we may use webcast นะครับ or we may just like send the email นะครับ generate the email to the users for the output. For example, when they talk about the receipts นะครับ that many telephone service provider just send it to us นะครับ they generate email ครับ and then attach the PDF file as your receipt into those emails นะครับ blogs, instant messaging or wireless devices นะครับ you may use this technology นะครับ to display the output นะครับ or to notify the users for the output นะครับ some of the output นะครับ they may just like come in various form. Firstly, you may have like an SMS นะครับ an SMS message นะครับ sent to the user first, and in the SMS you have the link นะครับ. So that means once the users receive that SMS already, they tap on the link that you send via the SMS to open up the link of let's say PDF file นะครับ on the internet, something like that. You may combine like different kind of the output นะครับ for the same output to let the users to see it